If you want the best audio for your videos, then the best way is to record the sound separately from your video and then sync the audio and video in post-production. But if you create your own content, you probably don't have a lot of time. A much quicker way that produces audio that's almost as good is to record with your XLR mic straight into your camera. That way, the video and audio are automatically synced and remain together as an MP4 file on the camera's SD card. Now, you could use a cable like this. It's got an XLR connector at one end that plugs into the microphone, and at the other end it's got a 3.5mm TRS jack that connects to your camera. But what lets this method down is the poor quality of the mic preamps on the camera, and most cameras suffer from that. When using a microphone with a low output, like most dynamic microphones, you need to crank up the recording gain on the camera, and that also increases the noise floor. That's the internal noise produced by the preamps, and that noise can become loud enough to be noticeable. But I'll show you how to record with an XLR mic to a camera without increasing the camera's audio recording gain. We're going to use a Zoom H5 recorder to boost the microphone signal because the H5 has better mic preamps than the camera, which means that we can keep the preamp noise much lower and the recording noise-free. I'm going to be using a mirrorless camera to demonstrate this, but you could use a DSLR or a camcorder, and with the right adapter and cable, this would also work with most recent smartphones. So let's see what you'll need. Well, first off, a camera with a 3.5mm audio input, a Zoom H5 recorder, an XLR microphone, either a dynamic or condenser microphone, an XLR microphone cable, a 3.5mm TRS to TRS cable, preferably coiled, and optionally a hot shoe mount adapter to mount the recorder onto the camera. Before I show you how to get this working, it would really help this channel if you would like, share and subscribe. That will mean that YouTube will also show this video to other people who are also looking to improve their content. Now, let's get this setup connected. The first step is optional, but it does help to keep things neat, and if you're moving around, you won't have to hold the camera in one hand and the Zoom recorder in the other. You need to mount the Zoom H5 onto the camera's hot shoe using a Zoom HS1 hot shoe mount adapter. You can get generic versions that cost much less than the original, but I actually prefer to use a camera monitor mount adapter because it lets me to tilt the recorder so that I can see the display and keep an eye on the recording levels if I'm standing behind the camera recording someone else. Next, connect your XLR microphone to input 1 on the Zoom H5 recorder using the XLR audio cable. If you've got a second microphone, connect it to input 2 in the same way. Now turn on the recorder. Once it boots up, you want to make sure that it's in stereo mode. If it's not, go into the menu, go to Rec Mode, and then choose Stereo File. The next step is to set the mic level on the H5 recorder. First, press the button for track 1 so that the LED lights up. Then use gain dial 1 to adjust the level so that your voice peaks at around -12 dB. I'm happy if it occasionally reaches a little higher, but usually no further than about -9 dB. If you have a second XLR microphone, repeat the steps for input 2. Now set the line output level on the H5. Go back into the menu and scroll down and select In-Stroke Out. Then go to Line Output Level. If you're going to be using a dynamic mic, you probably want to set the level to -10 or -15 dB. But if you're using a condenser mic, and they tend to have a higher output level than dynamic mics, now you probably need to go down to -20 or even -25 dB. Once you've got the level that you want, press the scroll dial and exit the menu. Now, over on the camera, set the audio recording to manual so that you've got complete control. Then on many cameras, you'll want to turn the record level down to minimum. But if minimum is effectively off, like on this Canon EOS R6 mirrorless camera, take the level all the way down and then raise it up by one click. You're now ready to connect the H5 to the camera using the 3.5mm cable. Plug one end of the cable into the line out port on the H5. Then plug the other end of the cable into the audio in or mic input on the camera. With everything connected, check your level on the camera. If you're peaking much higher than -12 dB or you're going into the red, reduce the line output level on the H5 in the menu settings. But if you're peaking much lower than -12 dB, raise the line output level. Now, if you're going to be using a condenser microphone, you'll also need to turn on phantom power in the recorder's menu. Finally, record a test piece using this setup to check that everything is working fine. That's what I'm doing right now. I've changed to using this Fifine 669D microphone, and you can hear that everything sounds great with the Zoom H5 providing the necessary gain to the mic signal before it hits the camera, where it's recorded with the video to a single file. Once you've recorded your test, listen back on good headphones to confirm everything is good to go. Now, let me give you a few bonus tips. When you start recording on your camera, also record on the H5. That way, you'll have a backup of your audio if you should need it or if you intend to repurpose the audio as a podcast. Also, consider using the backup record feature on the H5. That will automatically create a safety recording that is 12 dB lower that should prevent any accidental clipping and distortion. Furthermore, if you want to keep audio processing to a minimum in post-production, you can activate the limiter and compressor that are built into the Zoom H5. I hope you found this video useful. If you have, please like, share and subscribe. And to make sure you don't miss any of my latest videos, smash that notification bell. Until next time, keep creating.